so in the last segment we looked at the idea of playing from the F sharp minor 7, flat 5. Incidentally, if you're playing this chord, get your thumb behind your second finger. That's the best place for it, really. Any extended shape, regardless of how far you've got to go, you really want to try and keep that thumb behind the second finger, because then it supports the other fingers. Okay. And again, don't think of this as being a stretch. It's putting your hand like that and just moving your first finger back 1 fret. Yeah, with 2 or 3, that would be a bit uncomfortable. But anyway, okay. So in the previous segment, we said, well, we could play a G scale through our F sharp minor 7, flat 5. Okay, and then a C scale against our G. Okay, so another little approach which you might like to think about using is to say, well, okay, if we've got a G7, we now know we can make that a G9, don't we? Okay. We also know it has a sus4 in it as well, so this is an opportunity for a couple of things. First and foremost, we can say, well, okay, the G scale through the F sharp minor 7 flat 5 is going to stay as it is, that's fine. Okay, but when we get to the G7 or G9, well, top half of a ninth chord, as you'll know by now, is another minor chord. So G, B, D, bottom half of G, or I should say the lower numbers in G, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So 1, 3, 5, G, B, D, D, F, A, D minor. So that means we could play our G scale for our F sharp minor 7, and then a D minor for our G. Now, the D minor, I've played a little bit of, again, using a chord shape here. This is the A minor shape D minor chord, if you will. And this gives me an opportunity. Now, there are more subtle ways you can do it than that, but I don't think being particularly subtle about it is being very helpful when you guys and girls are trying to figure out what I'm up to. I need to be fairly obvious, really, without patronising anybody. Let's have it in capital letters, easier to read. So, okay, so here's a little example of what happens if I use that tonality over that change. Just stick my fancy listening devices on so I can hear what's going on. Okie dokie. Now, there we go. Okay, so G scale to start with, and then a phrase around D minor for the G. Let's take another example. Okay, and you'll hear in that last example, I've resolved. There's no point just saying, I can play D minor over G and it will sound great. You have to consider you are playing over G. So, tells everyone where that G is. Okay, so in summary then, when we're thinking about playing over this sequence, there's quite a lot to get your teeth into. So I think what I'd like to do at this point is to leave you with that idea of playing the G scale going to a figure in D minor and see how that works out for you. It's also possible to play the G as a kind of a bluesy G if you wanted to as well. arguably this sequence isn't ideal for that, but you could do that as well if you wanted. It all depends on the arrangement. Okay, but in the last segment of this particular series, I'll be talking about just an overview of what we're doing. Anyway, okay, that's it for this one. So please subscribe if you would, and bye for now.